Hello, with the lunar cycle coming to an end and Shojnaya just around the corner, I wanted to go over each individual thing that we've gotten in this update. Mainly because we forget majority of what happens because it lasts for like a month and a half and there's a lot of things that happen in between then. At least I do. And that's a real true shame because we get a lot of cool things. So let's see what we got this time around. Oh, and if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing as it would be really appreciated. Thank you. Now back to the video, starting with the events, which we got 3 of them this time around, 2 of them smaller ones, and 1 really big one, so let's start with the smaller ones first. First we had the long range sightlands event, which was really fun. I really enjoyed looking for the most ideal route to gather the most points. The only issue that I had was I sometimes went on autopilot and just shot when I saw the red dot, and sometimes I would shoot the floor, which is more of a me issue and not the actual game's issue. It's just a skill issue, to be honest. But it was really fun, 10 out of 10. Next we had the Dance Dance Easy Breezy Disco, which is a sequel to an event that we got a year ago, but they changed a few things. They added a whole new button that you can press and hold, they changed the spotlight to help with your timing, and they added a whole new section where you follow the lead dancer. But I did enjoy this event last year, and I did enjoy it this year. Mainly because the timing fell off. It could just be me, but I'm usually pretty good at rhythm games. Luckily, you only have to play it like 5 times to get all the rewards. It's like a 5 out of 10. Now time for the big event, the Sunny Summer Fontanale, which is a sequel to an event that we almost got 3 years ago. And if you didn't play that event, all you need to know is that we entered this film competition, helping this guy named Xavier. Then we faked Yoimiya's death, caught a criminal, then won the competition. And that's all you need to know. This time started with us talking to Xavier about what he had planned for the competition, and apparently nothing. Because while he was casting the female lead, someone actually came to the audition, and her aura was so impressive, Xavier had to have her as the female lead. So he asked her about what brought her to Fontaine, and apparently she lost her best friend recently and wanted to visit where her friend was from. And Xavier, being so touched by this story and feeling like his film was now unworthy of her, decided to throw it all away and decided to make a whole new film about her story and cast her as the female lead all last second. So who could be so impressive that he would do all of this? Columbina, with the previous mentioned friend being Sandrone. But with everything changing last second, the film crew doesn't have a location to film at, and majority of the places have already been booked. But luckily Risley shows up suggesting filming on the winglet, which he brought to the surface with the plan of renting it out to help with the maintenance costs. But there's still one problem, Risley has already rented it out, so if we want to go and use it, we would have to go inside and ask the person who rented it. Where he meets Lolly, who's here for the premiere of a film based off of one of her favorite novels, and through a bunch of circumstances needed a place to stay. So after seeing a job application for a receptionist at an aquarium, she decided to take it since it offered a room. And after a while, we asked her to see her boss, who turns out to be Sandrone? The last time we saw her, this happened. Apparently, after her body was taken to the Fontaine Research Institute, her creator Alain's final gift was activated by a stellar linchpin, saving her. But what is a stellar linchpin? According to Sandrone, they're basically rare types of visions that allow the user to access power beyond Tevat, because the visions are linked to the third descender. But this doesn't explain why she's still in Fontaine and rented a massive ship. Sandrone explains it's because of a message Alain left her saying that he left a few things in the house they used to live in, with Sandrone hoping that whatever's in there will help with the anomalies she's been experiencing, while also explaining why she received a stellar linchpin. And she also rented the winglet because of this, due to the Fontaine laws not letting her go back to her house, with it being underwater. So she used the winglet as an aquarium to be a loophole for her to get around this. And that's why she hired Sid Lolly to be the receptionist and plans to put a few fish in the aquarium to make it seem legitimate. But with Paimon seeing this as a massive waste, Sandrone offers us to run the aquarium for her, which we accept. After this, nothing too important happens for a while. Sandrone gives us permission to film on the ship. We go with her to see the area where her house would be, to see the changes over the years, and Sandrone keeps making Columbina feel like she's losing it because she doesn't want to see anyone until everything is resolved. But eventually we arrive at Sandrone's house where we get to see where she used to live and spend her time, where I promptly got distracted for like 20 minutes doing this puzzle Sandrone used to do. Eventually we head into Alan's bedroom where Sandrone opens a compartment to find a box full of things that she thought she threw away. But at the bottom of the box was a letter for Sandrone for when she activated his gift. Inside the letter was a formula to face the anomalies that she's been dealing with. explaining that the anomalies that she's been referring to are just her emotions and logic clashing with each other, leaving a formula to physically face this dilemma inside her soul, which she used, seeing all the times that her emotion and logic clash with each other, all the times that she chose to ignore her emotions with logic, all the times that she thought about doing something but didn't because it wasn't logical, eventually blocking out every single desire, and coming to the crossroads of if she'll accept her emotions or block them out entirely because they're just really hard.
Why? Why do we keep losing everything we care about?
I know it hurts, but that's life.
I wish...
I know. I've always known. Because we've been one all along.
Wait a minute, all that and we still have a whole chapter left? Alright, so Alan's friend, Renee, this guy right here from the Fontaine World Quest that I definitely remember, was trying to find a way to save Fontaine from the prophecy, and the only reasonable solution he could think of was to find a way to make the soul last forever. And so the first step of his plan was to learn how to sever the soul from the body. What could go wrong? And he messed up and lost his physical form. But luckily for him, Jakob, this guy right here, decided to carry on Renee's research. Severing so many people's souls along the way, he was able to restore Renee's physical form. And together they severed even more souls for their research, eventually with the souls merging into Renee's consciousness, only being able to return to the ley lines after we save Fontaine. But the souls severed before Renee returned are still stuck in the waters of Fontaine, unable to return to the ley lines. So now Sandrone plans to save those souls and return them to the ley lines with the help of Sidlali. So we head to this tower, summon the souls, beat them up, and return them to the ley lines. With everything now resolved, Sandrone can finally meet everyone, and we can get back to the film that we promptly abandoned. Speaking of that film, it should be filming its ending about now.
She'll sense me coming from a mile off. How am I gonna...
Sandrone? Is it really you? You're back? You didn't tell me. You avoided me. Why? Sandrone?
Now we're even.
I missed you so much.
That makes one of us, idiot. I'm here, Columbina.
With all of that getting caught on camera, making the perfect end to the film, and it was pretty well received, just barely missing out on winning the competition. But to celebrate everyone's hard work, they decided to throw a party on the winglet, with Sandrone just needing to do one last thing. And that is visiting Alan's grave, finally saying hello to her crater after all these years, and releasing all the emotion and regret that she's been holding in all this time. Eventually we head back to the winglet, meeting up with everyone, ending with Sandrone playing the piano just like she used to do all those years ago with Alan. And there we go, that's the entire event story. Now we just have the aquarium part of the event, which I really enjoyed. It felt like exploring Fontaine all over again. They even forced you to kill baby blubber beasts. But in all seriousness, this event was really fun, with the atmosphere being great and the minigames being pretty good. My only complaints were like that it didn't really instruct you on how to beat certain bosses. So you would go into a boss fight, forget how to beat it, because it's been like 2 years, and then immediately die. But this problem could be fixed by just leveling up a certain upgrade all the way to max and killing the boss in 2 hits. So it wasn't really too much of an issue. The others are that this fishing minigame got pretty tedious by the end, and this minigame where you sell the things that you find in the ocean got really annoying at times because the NPCs would go to the wrong position, even though the thing that they're looking for is literally 2 feet to their left. Just go to your left. But this leads to the best part, and that is by the time that any of these things got actually annoying, I already got all the primo rewards, and if I still wanted to play some more, there's a whole New Game Plus mode where you help Seadrian clear out dangerous sea creatures out of the ocean. Overall, 10 out of 10 would play again. Now for the outfit, starting with Charlotte's, which is alright. I personally prefer her original one over her new skin. It's just personal preference. Nothing wrong about this outfit in particular. Just, I prefer the original. I don't really have anything else to say about it. As for the Sidlali one, I really like it. I enjoy how they incorporated Sidlali and Needs Papa into her outfit, and how they changed up her hair. Overall, it looks pretty nice. We also got 7 Bus, which seemed pretty cool, even though I haven't been able to try them out because I haven't pulled for Sandrone. They seem pretty nice, because they made Chi-Chi and Mizuki usable, and not just actually usable, they're actually pretty good. And they're only gonna get better because we don't really have any other characters that can make the stellar reaction. We only have Sandrone, so when we get more dedicated characters that will allow these characters to shine, they'll be better, which is pretty cool. Speaking of Sandrone, she's pretty fun. Her animations looked great, she didn't feel clunky to play, and I like her design. Even though I personally prefer her original outfit more than her new one, it's just personal preference. I don't really have any other strong opinions on her, mainly because I only got to use her in trials. I suggest watching a dedicated video to any of the buff characters or Sandrone if you want a more detailed review. Time for the in-game content, which I'm actually struggling to talk about because I usually just take a full 5-star roster and get as many Primo Gems as I can. And when I try to think about it in more detail, it ultimately boils down in my mind to this. This one's difficulty changes based off of how many characters you built, and which ones you decide to build, or how much money you spent. This one changes depending on if you have the right characters for each boss, how much money you spent, and how much time you spend on Excel spreadsheets. Then this one's basically the exact same, but it's slightly easier and you only need 2 teams. So I'm just going to talk about my own personal experience, and remember, everyone's experience changes a lot depending on which characters they decided to pull for, and my experience might not be as relatable to yours, or it could be the exact same. And I think the current Abyss cycle is a perfect example of that, with the first half being really easy if you have Sandrone, and the second half being really easy if you have Flynn's. And if you have both, this is one of the easiest Abyss in a while. But if you have neither, have fun. Luckily for me, I have Skirk and Flynn, so it wasn't too bad. The first chamber I barely missed out on 3 stars because I didn't realize he wanted an electric character in the first half. I probably could have gotten it if I just played better, but I ended up just going back with the electric character and getting the 3rd star. The second chamber I don't really have anything to talk about because it was really easy for me. It took like 2 seconds, easy 3 stars. Then we have the 3rd chamber where we get to see the most annoying boss that they've released in a while. It took me a while to figure out how to take down its shield, and by the time I figured it out, it was still annoying to deal with. I eventually got 3 stars, but it was not fun. For the Imaginary Theater, I actually don't have much to say, besides it was pretty easy for me because I built a lot of my characters, and they allowed you to use Hydro. Besides that, I did save New Lit for the end to make it a lot easier, and I was able to get all the Primo rewards. I didn't get all the purple stars because I find them way too much of a hassle to get them all for what they're worth. Now for Stygian Onslaught, which I do have a bit to talk about. Now I don't do Fearless because I don't enjoy the combat system that much to do a deep dive on how to do it, so I usually just do Menacing or Hard. And that's the nice thing about Stygian Onslaught. If you want to do Hard and just do that, you can get all the Primo rewards, and that's pretty easy. It's time for this boss part 2. Technically part 3 because it was an Imaginarium Theater, but it wasn't too bad because of all the blessings that theater gives you. This boss on Stygian, on the other hand, was a pain in the butt because if I didn't kill it before its second shield phase, I wasn't able to kill it, so it took me so many attempts to finally get a good run. I really don't want to see this boss anytime soon in any endgame content. I don't enjoy fighting it. For the second boss, there isn't too much to talk about because if you have a DPS that does lunar damage, it's pretty easy. Then for the third boss, I decided to use my very relatable C4R1 Scaramouche. I do have Mabuika, I just don't enjoy playing her as a DPS. So if I have the opportunity to avoid using her, I will do it, even though this would have been way faster if I just used her. Onto the Myriad of Melodies, which is going to be the leading cause of my arthritis in both my hands in about a year's time. Now, whoever made this set list was really energized, because like 5 of the songs are actually hard. Usually only like 3 are pretty hard, but there's 5 this time around and my hands still hurt. Onto the TCG, which I don't really play. They added these 3 cards, but I don't really have anything else to talk about. I just felt like I needed to mention it because I've talked about everything else. The Millie Astra added the ability to use a musical instrument in the lobby so you can make your wonderful musical performances. I didn't think it was that bad. They also added 7 new outfits right quickly. Pretty good. Decent. I actually kinda like it, just not really the eyes. They kinda look like they're supposed to be 3-star outfits. Alright, personally not really a fan. It's alright. It's a good 5-star outfit. They also changed a few things in the editor. I can't really tell you if they're good or not because I don't use it, but from seeing what other people have made, I think the changes are probably pretty good. Then we have what's left I haven't talked about that I didn't know where to fit into the video, so I'll just group it all together. The banners, where in the first half we had Sandrone, Sid Lally, and all the buff characters in a Chronicled Witch banner, and in the second half we had Columbina and the Raiden Shogun. Now, this banner did have the misfortune of coming right before a major update, so it's kind of hard to pull for any of these characters unless you really wanted them, but it was cool to see a Risey rerun after a year. They also made it so you can click their dialogue faster. How much faster is it? Not too much faster, I think. This is me spam clicking, and it obviously does not basically end the dialogue instantly. It's quite disappointing. I really wish they just added a skip button. I feel like I'm missing something really big that I'm just not really noticing. I think I've gone over everything, right? I've gone over everything. I didn't talk about this because it runs every single version. Oh, yeah. You might be wondering, how do you forget an entirely new area? And that is a great question, but I have to deal with the consequences of my actions now, because it's currently Friday and I would like to get this video out tomorrow, so I can't really explore the moon as much as I would want to do this segment, so I'll make it up to you. If enough people ask for it, I'll do a whole recap of everything that happens on the moon. Well, that should be everything, and if I miss something, you can roast me in the comments. The last update before any new region is always amazing. I was actually really burnt out after Natland, and Nocrai really got me back into Genshin. I really hope Shanghai will be even better, and from all the trailers, it looks like it's gonna be awesome. I hope you enjoy exploring the new region, and that's all from me. Goodbye.